this is Anila Sita 101. I'm going to be sharing with you today an exercise that I have been doing for around 2 years now that has allowed me to get pretty much anything I want in my life. May that be something material that I wanted to obtain or a specific type of mental state I wanted to be in. You are going to be shocked when you see what exercise it is that I'm referring to that only takes up 5 minutes of your day. So what this exercise is, I call gratitude rituals. Basically, the way that I did it was, I used to have a book where on the left side, I would write things that I'm grateful for that I have right now in my life. And I would write it in the form of thank you and then a sentence. So basically every line would have thank you for my health, thank you for whatever it may be that I was thankful for that day. And on the second page, I would put thank you for, and then I would put things that I didn't have yet but that I wanted in my life. I have just been doing it on a sheet of paper, and this is basically what it looks like. So I have a line here where on the top I have the stuff I'm grateful for that I have right now in my life, and on the bottom I have the ones that I want in my life but don't have yet. You're gonna be like, how is this gonna get me what I want and get me anything that I want in my life? I was blown away by the fact that things were very subtly creeping into my life that I had written in my gratitude journal that I completely forgot about. Because if you do this every single day, you're gonna have so many things that you write all the time that you forget with time what it was that you were talking about. There were some that I repeated, and those were the ones that ended up coming true, and I'm gonna be talking about all the different things that became true. Basically, the way that you do it is, I gave you the basic gist of what it is, and I'm gonna tell you how I did it. I did it every night. I did it before going to sleep. I would put on a song that made me feel good, and as I wrote the list, I would genuinely, the first list that was about things that I'm grateful for that are in my life, I would write things that I genuinely feel grateful for. I'm not talking like you need to just fill up a page and write anything. You have to genuinely write things that you do feel grateful for, and sometimes it's difficult when we go through hard times to find things we're grateful for, but there always is something. It could be as basic as thank you for the hot water, because I've been in situations recently where hot water isn't always running and there's cold water. So whenever there is hot water at night, that is something that I write down because I'm so grateful that there actually was hot water. And at the end, when you write your first list, which is your gratitude for the things you already have in your life, you want to close your eyes and you want to say thank you 20 times. And I don't count them. I don't go thank you once, thank you twice. I just say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I swear to God, at some point you start smiling because it just makes you feel good to be grateful, and it makes you feel happy, and it's genuinely something that has brought me mental and physical well-being and stability overall. Then when you write the second list, I suggest doing the same, because the more gratitude you express for the things you don't have yet but you want, they will come to your life faster. Some people might be like, I don't know how to write it or what exactly, so I'm gonna give you some examples and talk about the things that I manifested with this gratitude journaling. One of the things was a relationship. I kept writing on the right page, which was obviously the one for the things that I didn't have yet. I kept writing, thank you for my boyfriend. Thank you for my boyfriend. I wrote this for like 2 weeks every day, and he came into my life. Even though that relationship ended, it still was incredible that I was able to attract a relationship into my life just with this exercise and writing it every single day. Another thing I got was the splits. I had been stretching for like 2 years before I ended up finally getting into the splits. And I remember I kept writing in my gratitude journal, thank you for finally being able to go all the way down into the splits. And one day it did happen. Even though I pulled my hamstring the day that it happened because I wasn't properly warmed up, I still did it. That was something that I did attract as well. Obviously, it's not like I just wrote it every day and expected the splits to just naturally happen for my body. I was stretching, but it's the fact that when I started doing this gratitude list, it's like it came faster to me because I'd been stretching for a long ass time before that, but it didn't happen. And I noticed as well, when you express that gratitude and write it every single day, you start to attract opportunities, videos, people who suddenly give you advice that you hadn't heard of before. Because I remember I had been stretching for such a long time and I didn't know if what I was doing was working, and then suddenly someone came to me and suggested something new. With those new exercises, I actually ended up getting into the splits because of them. Another thing that I wrote down in my gratitude journal was that I wanted to get into a elite type school in London. I was in New York at the time in a university, and I had already missed the deadline to apply for universities in London. So just bear this in mind, that I missed the deadline, which usually if you don't stick to a deadline, it's very difficult to get in. So I missed the deadline. I applied anyways, and I wrote in my gratitude journal every day, thank you for acceptance into one of the elite schools in London. I wrote this all the time. And then all of a sudden, it's summertime. I didn't think I would get in because of the missed deadline and just the circumstances. I get a letter saying I have an unconditional offer to go to that one university that I had applied to. So again, it's insane. I'm not just saying it's only that gratitude list, but I'm saying that it definitely made an impact because of the gratitude that was expressed and just the love that goes into a journal like that, where you are writing it every day and it's like your subconscious mind starts to believe things. Whether you believe something or not in the moment, when you write it every single day, it carries a superpower with it. A superpower that affects your subconscious mind. That's why I believe a lot of things came to me, because I kept doing it repetitively, and the belief kind of comes with time. Even if you don't have it at first, that's perfectly fine. The last example I wanted to make of something that happened in my life, I was going through a very difficult time in London when I moved back to London from the university in New York because I didn't have friends. And I'm the kind of person, I love to have deep conversations, and I call them soul-feeding conversations. So what I asked for one night was, I said, thank you for this soul-feeding conversation, and because my star sign is Taurus, I'd always been curious about Tauruses and wanted to meet more Tauruses. So I said, thank you for introducing me to more Taurus women. Thank you for Tauruses in my life. Now listen to this. I went to a trip on a weekend with this dance company. I didn't know anybody, but I decided to just take the leap because there was a specific choreographer that I was going to see. Her name's Alias. So I went to see her on this trip. Well, I didn't see her, I went to her class. On that trip, I went out with a couple of girls on Friday night after Alias class. There was this one girl that I just happened to click with on the way home. We hadn't even spoken throughout the nights, but we just clicked on the way home. Then we started speaking in the lobby when we got back to the hotel for hours. It was like 4 a.m. when we got back, and we spoke till 8 a.m. I'm not even exaggerating. Midway through the conversation, this was one of those soul-feeding conversations, which is why I was having it for so long with her. I asked her, what's your star sign? And she goes, Taurus. And I swear to God, I just lost it inside, because that was a sign to me that it was being answered. There was such a weird feeling in my body that, oh my God, I asked for this, and it came so fast because I'd written that list only that week, and I got a soul-feeding conversation and a Taurus in my life on the first day. That whole weekend was getting more soul-feeding conversations, meeting more Tauruses. And whenever I ended up going out with that Taurus girl, who's actually now one of my closest friends, we would, out of curiosity, ask certain people that we looked up to, dance teachers or so, what their star sign was. And it always happened to be Taurus with the ones that we had those good conversations with. Even sometimes when we were speaking to some girl and she happened to sort of join our duo, we asked her what's your star sign? And she goes, Taurus. And we just both lost it because she started catching on to the fact that it was insane how much energy that carried, and the fact that I kind of manifested that, and then we both kept manifesting these Tauruses. Those were kind of things that to me are miracle stories and tell me that this really does work. I will also say though, what I have brought into my life, those were just sort of tangible things. And by tangible, I mean things you can touch, I guess. But what it also brought into my life was mental states that are so much better. I remember when I was in New York, I wasn't suffering from anxiety, but I wasn't doing the best and I wasn't feeling like myself. I felt like I didn't have clarity in my mind, and I felt like I didn't have mental stability. So on the second page, which is obviously the stuff that you want to have in your life, I would write things like, thank you for my happiness, thank you for my mental stability, thank you for my tranquility. I would write things that correlated with the type of mindset, state of mind that I wanted to have. I even was able to write down things like, thank you for making me care less, because sometimes I feel like being an artist, so I'm a singer and a dancer, being that can bring a lot of self-criticism, and it can bring a lot of caring about what other people think about you because you are doing something that is related to entertainment. It's kind of important that people like what you do. That's how I felt in the past. But then I started realizing that that was stunting my growth, and it was stopping me from actually going for some things. So I started writing down, thank you for making me care less. And guess what? That's the emotion that I got the next few days. And now I do this exercise every day because it fills me with joy, it makes me happy, and I know that it can give me anything I want. If you need something to change your life, but in an easy way where you don't really have to put in that much effort, you do need to put in work, but the work comes so easily, effortlessly, because when I started saying things like, say you want to start dancing or you want to start doing something, you could say, thank you for dance opportunities. Thank you for the dancing in my life. You could write that on the second page. And that way you're going to start to notice, you're going to meet dancers. You're going to start suddenly dating a guy maybe who's a dancer, and he's going to bring you into that world. It's just what you write carries that power of attracting what you want. So get onto it, do it, and trust the process. That's my video, this exercise that's changed my life. I hope what I said resonated with you. I'm gonna be uploading videos every Friday, so subscribe, like the video. Yeah, thank you.